Hello, and welcome back. Today is a new beginning. Another one, because I'm like the most inconsistent person ever to have ever made a YouTube channel. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. But today we're starting tutorials because I think it's important that everybody starts learning art. Also because I like indoctrinating people into the art community. But that's like a topic for another day. You're gonna be learning how to do a face, draw a face. We're gonna make with our own two hands, feet, mouth, honestly, whatever floats your boat, because art is not limited by the way that you create things. Beautiful, isn't it? So, without further ado, let's get to drawing. So, to drive home the fact that you really can use anything to create, I'm going to be using 4 different mediums in this video for the tutorial. Pencil, pen, marker. 4th medium is actually going to be digital, and for the sake of simplicity for this video, I'm going to be using Procreate. Typically, I use Clip Studio and Procreate, like a mixture, but mediums are very important in the art community. We can distinguish so much, and our technical skill is based if we know what medium that we are using. Everybody thinks that you have to be at a certain level to get into different mediums. It is not true. Sketching can be done in any medium, so it doesn't really matter. We're gonna start with my first step on every drawing, which is drawing a circle. Notice how I'm going over the circle multiple times and I'm using my arm and not my wrist. Because if I want like a smaller circle, I'll use my wrist. If I want big circle, I'll use my entire arm motion. Then from here, I like to do one line across, one line in the center, and then from here, I will distinguish where my mouth is, which is usually here. And then the eyeballs are either on the center or below, depending on the age of the person. I'm just gonna put 2 circles, or 2 ovals, I guess you could say, on this line here. And then because I have this line here, this will help me distinguish when the jaw is going to come back down into chin. If you think of the face like a mask, all of the features on it, and you can change those features and their ratio whenever you see fit. Our next step for our face is actually going to make the chin line, which you're gonna eyeball it, but just the eyeball line to circle, the bottom of the circle. And then from here, you can start your face shape if you would like. I just outline the circle, stop here at your bottom of the circle line, and that's where you make your angle for the jaw. Now you do the same thing on the other side, which requires a bit of practice for symmetry. And then you can go ahead and just round out the top of the head. Just make sure all of your lines on the outside connect to your lines on the inside. Bam! Now you have your head shape. From here, you could do all of your features, the mouth at slightly below the bottom of the circle line. And I'm just gonna do 2 dots. I guess 2 minus signs, if you will. From there, I want to make a curve that connects the 2 of them. And then I put a dip in the center where the middle line is. Notice how none of these lines are perfect, and you don't need to just make one. You can make multiple, because you can build off these lines later. This is where the nose shadow should end, where this bottom line is. Create a shadow I make a triangle. This just is what's best for me. I make a line here, like a really harsh line, and then I make another 2 little C's. And then sometimes you can make a circle if you really want to. And then from here, this is your nose bridge. How I put the circles up here initially, so this is gonna be like your actual like whole eyeball. So, you don't want the whole eyeball showing. You actually wanna cover it with eyelids and stuff. So, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna draw the eyeball. So, turn that oval into like more of a circle. And just go over that like a couple times. And then from here, you can kind of decide where the eyeball is looking. I'm gonna do more of a looking to the right motion. We're gonna do a circle, but lightly looking to the right. Now this looks crazy. I am very aware that this looks crazy. And like I said, these are supposed to be very light, like you're doing very light motions. You're actually going to make the eyelid. So you're just gonna do a light pass over on each side and make like a rainbow motion, but not too, like it's like flat, like think of a flat rainbow. And then you kind of start seeing like your own little eyeball forming out of all of those little lines that you made. So you can actually build from those lines that you made. And you could just kind of like see here, I see where all your eye boogers gather and like your tears.
The lacrimal caruncle.
Lacrimal caruncle.
So we have that here. But we also have the under eye area forming. So we're just gonna go ahead and refine that. Light motions. And then from here, I start seeing that this, like the actual head part is looking a little wide. So from here, you can adjust. And then from here, you can put the eyebrows literally anywhere. You can put them here. You can put them here. You can honestly get really creative with the proportions of a face. It's not like set in stone that you have to keep the proportions a certain way. That's kind of why in every tutorial they're like, you don't have to be perfect. Now we have some eyeballs, a nose, a mouth. Now we can actually start like defining some shadows. Note that my style is not very realistic, so my shadows are also not very realistic. So I'm gonna just put a shadow here and then color it in a little bit. For the nose, like I was telling you earlier, we made that triangle for the shadow. However, I'm not liking it, so I'm like, I'm gonna restart for this, for the nose. And I'll put the triangle again. And then put the nostrils higher this time. And then that line that I drew, I still left that there. And then we're gonna do 2 nostrils on the side. And then this part will be shaded. We can create a shape for this nose because it only has the bottom shape right now, which we kind of want like a top shape. So we're gonna make it like round. And then do some swoops on the side, erase some things, and make 2 lines on the center to connect them to the nose bridge. You can either choose to erase these parts of the eyelid, or you can choose to keep them. I'm gonna keep them like a little bit, and I'm just gonna define the parts that I like. So we're gonna keep his eye bags. We're gonna put the pupil in there finally. Now, when I do pupils, I actually don't make the entire circle because it helps leave room for highlights. And now I'm just going to define the parts of the eyeball that I like a lot. And then I like this line over here, so I'm just going to drag those two out on the side. And then we're going to make a lip line here for the Cupid's bow. And then we can shade the top lip. And then from here, ears always go from the bottom of the nose. So this would be roughly where the bottom of the nose is, to the eye crease. So I make an interesting little shape for the ears. And nobody's symmetrical, so just remember that. I practice symmetry a lot, but people are not actually symmetrical. And then you can draw the neck. So the neck is actually, it changes depending on the masculinization or the feminization of the person. But we're gonna just drag a line from the outermost edge of that like jawline where you see it like do its little turning point. And you're just gonna drag a line out from both of those areas. And then this center line is actually like really important because we're gonna take a line and we're just gonna like not make it inherently like even on both sides, but here we're gonna do a collarbone line and then drag that here and here. And then from the middle of the neck, do two lines to show the trapezius. And then two shoulders. And bada bing, bada boom, you got a face. He's bald right now. So we could actually give him like a buzz cut. So let's give him a little buzz cut. Bam! Got yourself a face, yo. Okay, next medium we're gonna be using is marker. This is a water-based marker. It's a Spectrum Noir Aqua. So, for this one, we're gonna do the same method, but the only difference is that we're gonna be using a different medium. So, I'm gonna start with a ginormous circle, right? And then we're gonna do our lines. Doesn't need to be perfect, again. Another line. The importance of doing this slightly is because with the marker, when we refine over things, it'll look a lot deeper than when we did it with the pencil. And then we're gonna do our shadow for the nose here. So do that triangle. We got our eyeball, right? So we're gonna do eyeball, eyeball. We could do the mouth on this line. And here I'm doing like a little bit of a different shape than I did the first time, just because I think it keeps it a little bit interesting. Then we're going to do that same upside down triangle that we did last time for the shading. We could do it on the edge of this. And then we're going to do the outside nostrils. And then the top part of the nose. And then this time we're actually going to shade the bottom lip instead of the top lip. Notice how I'm not doing this in the same order that I did the last face. From this line, we can do the chin. And then connect it here and here. And then we want to stay within the realm of this outer part in order to make the second jawline, but we don't have to do it right now. But I'm going to. Bam! Now you got your face. And then because I want the eyeballs to be a little bit more below, I'm gonna put the eyeballs here. And we're gonna do it this way. Trust the process. We're gonna do a bunch of straight lines across the eyeball. And to even them out, so like you can kind of see that they're a little bit uneven, we're gonna thicken the lines on both sides, just to give the illusion that they are the same. Because that's the thing about shading, is that you can make everything look like it's the same. Now we're gonna do the bottom part of the eyeball, but don't forget to do one part at a time on each side. It helps you keep symmetry without having to go back in on both sides. Look at that. Now you have a whole other person. And then if you fill this in, it'll cover up any imbalances that you might have on the eyeballs. And then this will serve as almost like your top of the eyelid. So you're actually gonna like put another line, and this will just be room for eyelid. You know what I'm saying? So then this top part, because this still falls within the realm of the line, this is all eyeball space, essentially. And then you can do eyebrows. She's a little angry. And then you could add some details like little wrinkles here and there. Ear from the bottom of the nose to the top of the eyeball. Perfect. This marker has another side, so I can actually embolden parts that I want.
Here I ruined it.
Perfect. As you can probably tell, pencil is in fact my main medium that I use. For the next medium, you'll see the reason why I prefer pencil, not because me using digital mediums is absolutely horrendous or anything, but I always seek out brushes in digital mediums that remind me the most of traditional art. But yeah, let's get into the next medium. And we're gonna do the same thing for this. Start with a circle, very lightly sketching it. The fun thing about digital art is that you can actually create a perfect circle and just work off of that if you truly want to. Across, in the center, down, in the center. We can zoom in and we can put our eyeballs. Whoa. Eyeball 1, eyeball 2. Our triangle from the bottom of our nose. And then we could do the 2 nostrils there right now if we truly wanted to. This is gonna be the peak of our nose, like a connection between the 2 of those, because this will be our other nostril. We've got room to do our mouth, so let's create our second line. Ooh, she's a little lopsided. Here we can see that we could put the mouth like right about here, and then do. We could do that, but I'm just gonna leave this one right at that. We're gonna make our little irises. From here, we could do the outside of our face. So let's put the chin down, connect the chin to this line. I always have like a little bit of disconnect from digital art. Let's put some eyelids over these guys. Do some rainbows. Rainbow 1, rainbow 2. And then a more flat rainbow for the bottom half of the eye. Here. And then we'll do the same and keep the eye bags here. We'll add our ears from the corner of our eye to the bottom of our other eye. Perfect. And then we're gonna also do the top eyelids. And then we're gonna do very gentle brows. And from here, we're just gonna refine some stuff. From here, I can line it. So I'll be right back. If you have noticed that every single one of these faces is different, you would be correct. I was not trying to replicate the same face every time. Inherently, no matter what thing you're creating, it is almost impossible to get it to look the same every single time without digitally copying and pasting. I believe in the importance of people's lines. Their lines are so very important. Being able to tell the amount of thought that you put into every single detail is very important to me as an artist. If you think your lines are too thick, too jagged, too rough, not gentle enough, or vice versa, you think your lines are too soft, too boring, too bland, I just want to encourage you to embrace whatever type of lines you seem to be making. This is only because this, later down the line, what creates your style and what defines you as an artist, that is a very important thing in the art community. To drive home all of the stuff that we have learned in this tutorial, we're just gonna be going over the last little guy, like the one that we did in the sketchbook, with pen, just to explain to you guys how important lines are. You just need to understand basic things and you can change everything. Now, we've got this little guy, right? But I'm gonna take this pen and I'm just going to emphasize and explain all of the different parts of this tutorial and how you can change them, how you can make them better, emphasize them, all kinds of fun stuff. As you saw throughout this tutorial, I picked lines that were already on the canvas that I may have made from the sketch or from an error that I kind of made, and I just solidified it. We're just going to be emphasizing, but with a pen. Some of my favorite parts are actually this over here, and then I'm just going to drag and lift, drag, lift, drag, lift, to create like a taper effect. And then we're gonna put the eyebrows in here. I can always go back in here and refine this a little more later with like a better medium. But because this is just like, I don't know, this is just like a little sketch tutorial. Don't always take everything that you make so seriously, because it actually takes the fun out of half the stuff that you make. And then it's just like, you end up not liking it because you think that it needed to be your next best amazing thing, when that's not the case. And then we're going in with the eyeballs, which are still at the line that we made earlier. Notice how my line curved a little bit? That kind of helps with visualizing your subject in a 3D space. That mostly helps with making your drawings look more alive. View everything that you draw as a 3D object, and you will basically always have something that looks more refined. It's kind of going into those little shadow areas that I know I will for sure need to define, and like start from those areas where I think the shadow is and drag from those areas. This is more of a lesson and a tutorial in the technical way to use your tools better than the actual face itself. Here I did the same thing where I just drag and then like lifted. We're gonna add some more lines. We're gonna do like multiple so that it looks all put together. And it's like, it takes a lot of practice to actually connect your lines together. So don't feel bad if like your lines aren't fully connecting when you start out. Like, we just wanna put lines on everything that is dark, because that's how we refine the stuff that we do like. For the nose part, I know I didn't explain the nose very well, but you just want to make sure that you have your nostrils. I don't even know what that's called. It's just the thing that connects your nostrils and your nose and everything like that outside of your nostrils. And then you typically have like a little dip that shows where they connect to your face. So that's what these are here. Another thing is that you don't always have to connect every line that you draw. As you can see, there's little holes here that I'm leaving on purpose, and they are to show that there is like a shadow here, but it's not part of like the main subject. When you connect lines, it shows that it's not a shadow, but an actual like main feature. Another thing I would always say is start with less, and you'll always be able to add more later. Do not feel pressured to do all of the big stuff at the beginning. Finding everything. And then if I overshoot a line, I could just cover it with more lines. To start off this series very short and sweet, so I really genuinely hope that this was helpful for you in any way, shape, or form, because I noticed that this is one of the things that really helps kickstart any artist's journey, and I want to be the one to help you with that. I really tried my best to make sure I didn't throw in too many technical terms in there, because I love indoctrinating people into the art community where they have to go look it up. I am intending on making more of these in the future, like how to paint, how to draw noses, how to draw eyes, how to do anatomy, how to decompose like a figure, learn art better, you know, all of those types of things. You gotta start somewhere. So I started with this. So I hope this was enjoyable. Thank you for watching, and I hope to be less inconsistent. Until then, toodles.